Welcome to the last session of this track, which is all about security. When I was asked in advance for the PDF days, which could be an interesting topic, security came up. So I prepared a presentation in which I would give you some feedback of some kind of journeys, 20 years security or good enough security in the world of PDF. I have some kind of top 10 list. What's about security, how you can achieve security, what kind of options are available, because in every project we face different situation, different level of security which needs to be achieved, and that's a nice thing with PDF. It provides in the end many options to achieve different goals. So let's go to this list, my top 10 list. Point number 1 is about centralization. So when you talk about security, the first question is always to set up a server process to control the results, to address automation of processes, to simply avoid human errors. And when you, this is a small screenshot of a PDF server application which provides virtual printers to the users. And when the user is using one of those printers, the PDF is generated on a server in a given quality, and on the server you can also encrypt if requested. And when you do it on server, you achieve the expected level of quality, and you avoid situation in which users think about their own passwords or about their own security settings. So the server is always a way to finally control the whole process. So, but when you have this server process and you would like to provide, for example, a printer to generate documents, and we always recommend to use PDF-A as a level of good quality. There are many PDF tools out in the market, many different printers, and PDF-A finally does not say that the resulting PDF must be identical with the source file. So I made some kind of comparison. I took my Windows Word file with a lot of transparencies and difficult objects, and I have 6 different PDF printers. And for example, here you can see this printer is not able to manage gradients and removes the object without telling the customer. Those guys, they also are not address transparency, so they also remove this color, so it's gone without informing the customer. So when you decide for a PDF creation tool to achieve reliable results, so in the end it's also a matter of security, please make sure that your tool achieves the results you would like to have. This is also nice. They turn a transparency into 100%, so it's the gray triangle becomes black. So it's all are PDF-A compliant, but only one is the same as the original. So that's again one task. Please evaluate your tool if it really meet the expected results. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt. That's no problem. Okay, in the next step, we also have the situation, and my PDF is now created, but for distribution, we have to address some additional tasks. First of all, we need to make sure that it is standard compliant, to make sure that this is finally addressed. We can think about optimization to reduce the file size, for example. That's still a very popular topic. We can think about color conversions or, for example, adding a background if you would like to add the company paper or other type of object in the background of your PDF file. You achieve the proper result you would like to have. Other topic is redact specific private data. As you might know, many applications allow to redact files. So one nice thing is when you take the Adobe Reader today, which allows you to open, annotate, and save the annotated file, you can make this highlighting annotations with Adobe Reader, save this file, and then you can process it on a server and get a redacted result. And we recently got a request from the city of Hamburg. They have in total 30,000 people, and everybody should be able to redact documents. And so they thought about purchasing 30,000 licenses of whatever tool is available is still a huge investment. So we told them if you use a Reader 11 or another equivalent free available reader which is able to add PDF conform annotations, you can use that at a client application and do the redaction fully automated on the server. So in the end you license only a server application and without additional licensing costs for the client. So this is redaction. Sometimes people ask for, let me say, tricks to reduce the quality of a document. For example, if you have a text PDF and you do not want that the receiving people copy the text out of the page, you can convert the text into vector, then it's a graphic element, so the text can no longer be used. So if somebody would like to copy the text, they has to rewrite it, which is more time consuming and no real protection, but a way to make a document, let's say, a little uncomfortable, which is also some kind of protection. And whatever you do, whatever level of quality you would like to achieve, in the end, it's recommended to do such kind of pre-flighting if all document you distribute meet the expected or defined criteria by doing such kind some level of pre-flighting to checking if all the criteria are addressed or not. Okay, we now have a proper PDF and a proper quality, so let's go more in direction to real protection. And a very popular way to protect files is, first of all, stamping or personalization. We also call it social DRM. In the end, it's finally nothing else than adding text, graphic, or other content to every page of your document. This is no real protection, but it says that this is your document, and when it says this is for Michael Karbe, I will not forward it to other people, because then they will know that I was the guy who forwarded the document. The advantage of stamping is, and we see that quite often in the ebook market, that because it's not really protected, you cannot open on any device without any problem. So when a stamped PDF can be opened on Windows, on Mac, in a browser, on an iPad, on an Android, you need no extra security supporting component which could make life problematic. So this is quite often, and typically this stamping is done on demand. It's finally a server process which can happen in parts of a second. It depends, of course, on the number of pages the file has and the number of text or graphic elements you put on the page. But in the end, it's one thing you can do on demand. So people get their personalized copy of an ebook, their personalized copy of a magazine, the personalized copy of a, for example, also marketing brochure or price list. Another level of stamping we sometimes see is, or I call it invisible data. So you can stamp black text, but you can also stamp white text on a white background. This has the effect that the receiving person does not see that there's some level of additional information in the document. And this is a way some customer for us knows and use to control and track a little bit the distribution of the PDF files. But even when it's invisible, if it's white on a white background, you can still do a search for this information because it's finally text which is part of the page. And you can do the same with metadata. You may have heard about XMP, which allows you to add any kind of metadata, describing the document, describing the source of the document, maybe describing the people who requested the document as part of an XMP schema. And this is somehow a little bit under the hook, under the layer, so it gives you the option to track if appropriate. We also learned that with PDF A3, it's now allowed to embed all kind of documents into a PDF container. So you can you can use a PDF file as an, let's call it envelope, and put whatever you would like to have into this envelope, into this digital container. And this is a nice way to distribute, or let me say, a larger number of single document, because in the end it's somehow an archive you distribute. And when you protect, for example, the envelope or a password or things like that, you can make sure that this envelope is protected, and the embedded files not. And also the other way around, which is more used. So we have some partners, when you purchase a PDF document in a PDF format, an ebook in a PDF format, they put it into an unprotected envelope, and the embedded PDF file is protected. So the receiving person can see this envelope or this delivery note, let's call it like this, and only in case they do have the permissions to open the embedded protected file, they are able to open this document. So there are plenty ways of using the feature of embedding content. So PDF provides many options, and when you have such kind of file, you open it in Adobe Reader, it looks like this. You have the source file, and here you do have a list of embedded single documents. But there are also this container idea is quite interesting, and there's other technology, let's call it like this, available from Global Graphics, which allow to address such kind of processes under a binder UI, which gives a more structured access to single files which are part of this, let's call it also archive. Good. Let's move forward with standard password protection. I think you all know that it's possible with a PDF editing application to address the standard security, so you can enter a password to open a file and a password for the security settings. You can run such kinds of process also on a server, which is very fast, and you can use it on demand. But you must keep in mind that, for example, when you choose this option, print or not print, it's only a setting, it's only a flag, and it depends on the receiving PDF viewer if they honor this setting. So I can show you samples of PDF viewer. You give them a PDF which is not allowed to print, but they don't care about the settings, they print. So, and that is a risk you must keep in mind when you think about to use this security settings. And finally, if you distribute a file which is password protected, you must also distribute the password, and there's also the risk that this password is forwarded to somebody else, so this somebody else then also can open this PDF file by entering the same password. And there are tools available to remove the security. You can easily purge them in the internet, and they say we only sell these tools to customer who own the document, but in the end you cannot control it. So the standard security can be hacked quite easily with software available within 5 minutes in the internet. A higher level of security and some kind of personalization can be achieved with certificate-based protection. This works in a way, let's think you do have the Adobe Reader, and when you have the Adobe Reader, you can create a certificate. When you forward this certificate or the public key to the publisher can encrypt the file with this public key, send the protected PDF file back to you, and then you can open this file because you own the private key. So this is a way to address a scenario in which a PDF can be opened only from specific persons. So, and it requires no extra installation in case everybody has Adobe Reader, and you need an appropriate server application which supports this certificate-based protection. So it needs some kind of organization of process, but it works fine. And the only problem is that a certificate always has a lifetime, and when you, for example, define a certificate with Adobe Reader, it's I think 5 years, and then you need a new certificate. But depending on what kind of process you have in mind, usually 5 years is a long time. Okay. The highest level or best level of protection you achieve today when you think about rights management applications. The basic idea is finally you take a PDF file, you use the standard encryption to protect this file, but when the PDF get encrypted, it get only an ID, and the key or the permissions stay on a server. So when a client receives such kind of document, a communication happens. The client sent a request to the permission server, and the permission server gives back the permission on this specific document for this specific person. So the server always controls who is allowed to open the file, who has which rights, who can print or not, who can open it several times. It's a way to, a very often asked question is expiration. So I do have a PDF and I would like to achieve that this PDF can no longer be opened after December 31. And it would be great if such kind of feature is part of PDF, but it's not. So the only way to address this kind of task is to control this expiration date somehow externally, and this is something which can be done by a permission server, which is finally a database which manages the documents, the users, and the permissions. So the problem of this DRM system is always that you need a client component to be installed, because the request to the server and the interpretation of the answer need to be done by a piece of software. So a typical topic we face in projects like this is how can we make sure that there's no problem for our end users to install the necessary client component on the computer. But in the end, it's the only way to really control the distribution, to track the distribution of PDF files. When you think about ebook, there's also the what we call offline scenario possible, and so in this situation, a permission server generates what we call offline key, which include a hardware identification. So this offline key is generated on demand when a PDF first time get opened, and the result is that from that moment the user can open the PDF on his local device until the expiration is achieved. When he tries to copy the PDF in this offline key to another computer, it will not open because the other computer has a different, we call it machine ID, so it will not work. So this is a way how we allow that protected, DRM protected document can also be opened when you're sitting in an airplane or in a train where it's currently no online connection available. So we have two major customer groups. One goes in direction for ebooks subscription, also always content to external people. But a very popular topic right now is, let's call it internal control, because what can happen in the real world? A laptop can be stolen in a train, or employees may forward confidential documents to somewhere else. So this is a situation in which you need to control and monitor distribution inside your company. Okay. Last but not least, when we talk about distributing PDF or protected PDF, we have the becoming more and more popular or problematic topic that there are so many different PDF viewers in place. In the past, the situation was relatively easy. Everybody has an Adobe Reader. This is more or less still the case, but when you today install Google Chrome or Firefox, they come around with their own PDF viewer. And let me say, a normal user does not see the difference. They do have Adobe Reader on their computer, they install Google Chrome, and then they open a PDF file inside the browser, and they do not realize that this is the Chrome viewer, because also the viewer does not tell him, I am now the PDF viewer of Chrome. So they think it's Adobe Reader, but it's a Google Chrome PDF viewer. And the problem is that the Google Chrome viewer does not support, first of all the huge variety of PDF features. And when you DRM protect a file, you need to make sure that the Adobe Reader is used. So 2/3 of support calls is, the PDF cannot be opened inside the browser, Adobe Reader is installed, there's a client component installed, what had happened? So we told them, please make sure that inside Google Chrome the Adobe Reader is used for viewing PDF, to make sure that also the protected PDF file can be opened. So this is becoming more and more a topic, and there are differences between the Windows and the Mac world, and mobile devices are additional challenges, or an additional challenge, and sometimes it's simply impossible to ask the end user install something. When you distribute something to a bank in Germany, forget it. Also they will install nothing. So you must find a way that they are also able to open a PDF document. And what we suggest or recommend in such kind of situation, you can convert a PDF file into HTML5. In previous days you used Flash, now it's HTML5. And here's this HTML5 document, look and feel like a PDF. So you have pages, you can click on next page, previous page, last page, first page, you can enter the page number. You have hyperlinks, bookmarks, not in this case, but there will be bookmarks if available. So the look and feel is exactly the same you do have with PDF. So a potential workaround is to avoid the need for installation and to address online scenarios or mobile scenarios, to use the option to convert a PDF into a browser which is simply supported by, into a format which is simply directly supported by your browser without any extra installation. So these are areas we address in different projects, and looks like that I was very fast. So this was my journey to a different level and opportunities to protect PDF content. More information as usual on the PDF website, and of course on our website. It's Windows Day, and so that's where we are. Do you have any questions?
Now maybe for the protection of your PDFs on the server, I've also been thinking about when we store the PDF files on the customers on the server, and it's nice to protect them with passwords, stuff like that. But still, if a hacker somehow gets on your server, they can get the files, or they can get in the database, they can retrieve finally the PDF file. So maybe, but this, I only see the solution for one-to-one relation to the file, person to the PDF, that we now made that option that if the user logs in, then his user password is temporarily available in the session. And that's what we use to encrypt the PDF file on the server. So even we cannot open the PDF file if we want to, because we have not information, maybe at the moment that the user is logged on, it's temporarily available. because he needs it to open the file. But when he's logged off, the session is gone, so we have no clue which is the encryption key of this PDF file.
Okay, also there's part of a project is always a whole infrastructure.
Yeah.
When we have a database, we must make sure that this database is somewhat protected from outside attacks. So we need to think about firewalls and all stuff like this. This is a typical part. But the main problem is in your scenario, and hopefully I understand it correct, and when you use the standard password protection, and even if it's temporary generated, the user still can download the PDF on his local drive, can send it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. No, it does not solve that problem.
Yeah.
No,
So we see there are many, how do you call it, virtual deal rooms provider on the market. So they provide safe applications. So you must log on, and this is a very safe place. But in the moment, the document is somehow moved away from this safe place. This protection no longer works, and so the idea of DRM is finally that it's inside the PDF file. So the DRM do not take care about. We cannot protect against mail an application or copy an application and a file. This is not the aim. The information sits inside the file, and the only thing we can do when a customer tries to open the document, we can check is there permission available or not. And yeah, in the end, it depends on the project. And in addition to PDF, we today also focus or need to address Office files. So this is a growing topic, protect Word files, Excel files, and PowerPoint. This is somehow a funny situation, because when you protect a file, you encrypt it and don't want to see changes to the file. But Word or Excel are editing programs. So, but in the end, it turns out that the most popular request is Microsoft Excel. When you think about a spreadsheet doing some kind of calculation. So companies give this spreadsheet to their, for example, to salespeople, and they calculate quotations or proposals based on this top secret price list spreadsheet. So they allow editing the Excel file by entering values. So this is somehow a form. It's maybe similar to similar to a form. So when you're entering a value, it's not so much a change. So you can make sure that only dedicated people can do this calculations, and this Excel file does not get into hands of somebody who don't want to get it.
Michael, sorry, you gave a good overview on the security methods that are available on the market in a high-level overview. But what is it that your companies has to offer in this scope? You didn't specify what Actino is offering to the customers.
We work together with several. Also, we are a reseller and developer for PDF tools, and we do consulting. And when partners, as a customer, come to us and ask for some level of security, we discuss with them about the right way to protect content, and then we provide the necessary components, which is somehow a collection from different vendors. So in the area of PDF creation, we work together with Global Graphics. In the area of PDFA compliance, we work together with Colors. In the area of DRM. We work together with a company called File Open. So we bring together standard products into a larger picture. So what we see, there's the requirements are so different. So it's heavy to find one product to addressing all, and if yes, it could be too much, and because the process should be usually very lean or straightforward and with less overhead. So hopefully that gives you an idea what we do.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any more questions? If not, I was asked because this is one of the last sessions. There's no coming together like yesterday. There's a meeting of the PDFA Association members, and I'm not sure who of you is member. For them, we meet at 4:30 in the large room. To everybody else, I have to thank you in the name of the association for attending this conference. I have a very good feeling that it was for everybody a successful event. I'm quite sure that something of that will be repeated again next year. You all can help in that, in sending us many emails and asking for that. And so again, hopefully everybody got some helpful input for using PDF in future, and enjoy Cologne a little bit, and have a nice and comfortable way back to wherever you come from. Many thanks. Bye bye.